you still try to take advantage of the time off and enjoy it while you have it.
That's obviously one of the toughest things about the off season. It drags on. You get to a point where you're healthy, you're rested, ready to go, but you still got to put some time in.
Yeah, you feel like you're ready to go, but if the season started right now, we'd be behind the 8 ball pretty good. So there's still a lot of work left to be done. And this is a time to really step it up and push a little bit harder, not to sit back and relax. So, these next couple of months are going to be big.
We've got Mike for the full hour today on the Eskimos this week. We're going to talk a lot of football, but first I want to talk about Ireland. How was the trip? I know you went to Ireland. You said it was for your birthday, a trip.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was great. My girlfriend Emily, she set it up for my birthday. It was an 8-day, 9-night trip, however that works out with the time zone changes. But it was my first time going over to Europe, and it was a treat. Ireland's not necessarily a place you want to go every single year. It's there's a lot of rain, and it's not entirely hot, not entirely cold, but just the history, the tradition, and being able to go into buildings that are 1,000 years old and see them still standing is impressive. We don't have anything like that in North America that's that old. So it was a great opportunity.
Any chance we're calling you O'Reilly this year?
No, we had some debates actually. I don't think you want to confuse the two when you're over there because they're definitely separate clans now. So I'm on the strictly Reilly side.
One memory stand out from the trip?
Kissing the Blarney Stone. The whole trip was great, but for anybody that hasn't been there before, you go to Blarney, there's a castle there. It's awesome. It's really old, and it's super tall. And when I got there, I thought, I'm just going to, I'm going to walk up, there's going to be a stone somewhere, you're going to kiss it. But you actually go to the very top of the castle. You're like over 100 feet up in the air, and you kind of like lean backwards over a little overhang, and it's really interesting. But apparently you gain the gift of eloquence, so I don't really have any excuse anymore when doing interviews, I suppose.
Did you clean that off first?
I heard they wipe it down, but you never know what happens over there in Ireland. I don't know how much you can trust them.
Okay, so you spent some time in Ireland. I know you went home to see the folks for a while in Montana, but the bulk of your off-season in New York?
Yeah.
All we've heard about from the East is the stories about how bad the winter was.
Well, they should live in Edmonton for a week.
There you go.
It's been very tame compared to Edmonton, but for the rest of the world, those are considered storms and blizzards. There has been a lot of snow, but it's nothing that I'm not used to coming from Montana and obviously Edmonton.
So you survived Blizzard 2013.
Oh, yeah, it was pretty scary stuff. The snow was there for like 2 whole days.
But they made the most of it.
Yeah, that's no
as
question.
they tend to do. It's a wet cold, though.
Yeah,
it's a wet cold.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a little different, but whatever.
All right, let's talk some football. First off, when I talked to you on the telephone just before the Super Bowl, I think it was, you talked about your plan to bulk up a little bit, and by looking at you, that's obviously happened.
Yeah, it's been a good off-season. My plans, I tried to set out a bit of a map for myself, because going into 6 months of off-season, if you don't have a set goal and a set plan, it's easy to just let those months go by without getting the right work done. So that was a goal of mine, was to bulk up, get some more strength and weight on my frame, and I definitely achieved that. And now it's time to just kind of refine things, and now it's kind of more of the conditioning and the stamina building part of the process. But the bulking up, the weight training has gone really well so far, and I'm really happy with where things are at.
Why? I guess be the best question.
A couple of reasons. I've always felt better playing at a little bit heavier weight. Even when I was in BC, I came back in 2010, my first half season that I was with the team. I was light. I was like 205, and when I came back in 2011, I was over 230, and everybody was super surprised. Lule was asking me what the heck I was thinking, but it worked well for me because I could still move. I could still be athletic. I didn't lose any speed, but I just had the added strength. It helps to put a little more zip on the ball, but more importantly, you take the hits a little bit better. Your body holds up, and it's harder to disrupt you in the pocket when you got the little bumps and the little arms that hit you here and there when you're getting ready to throw. They don't affect you as much when you got a little bit more weight.
Did the pounding you took last year play into making that decision?
It was part of it, for sure. I mean, I think that one thing that I learned was that 18 games is a really long season, and physically it takes a toll on your body. And in order to continue to play 18 games each season, which I want to do, I want to be able to have the health and the durability to play the entire season. And I think it's something that's necessary for me to do in order to be able to take those hits. And that's just part of the game. You're going to take your hits over 18 games. But, I think my body handled it pretty well last year, but I think it's going to be built even better for that this year.
The media guide last year had you clocked in at 215.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the optimum weight for you right now?
Yeah, that's where I started the season, but generally training camp will take about 5 pounds off you. They feed us great, don't get me wrong, but 2-a-days out there in the heat, you generally lose some weight, and you don't get the opportunities to get in the weight room because you're tired and your body's worn down. So generally I lose about 5 pounds during training camp. I'd like to play around 225, between 225 and 230. So, if I start at 230 or above in training camp, then I think that's optimal for me. Over 235, and I might have to put myself on a diet, but I don't think we're in any danger of getting to that point.